Morning, friends. I'm doing this first thing on Sunday morning in the hope of getting it all sorted out and up in time for Sunday 6 o'clock release. um, this week, spring felt like it was arriving. We had a couple of sunny days. We've got some blossom on the trees. And then it just turned cold again, and now it's super windy and it's not very nice and it's kind of grey again. And honestly, my hormones have been all over the place this week because I started my cycle on Monday, and so I've been fussy this week. But anyway, I will start with something that I wore to a special occasion because we had a little leaving do for someone that has been at my workplace for 44 years, and there were quite a few people there who were quite important and people that, anyway. So I was like, all right, I'm going to have to dress all chic and I'm going to have to smell chic. So I was sniffing two perfumes in the morning and I thought, okay, I won't go for my classic chic, don't bother people though perfume, which is Jennifer Lopez still, because I thought I'm going to wait for warmer weather for that one. I went for a different one, which I think is also chic, but because it's slightly sweeter. I mean, honestly, I think this is such a classy perfume. It's so classy while still also being sweet. But it's not so strong that it's going to get on people's nerves. It's not going to like bother anyone, which is super important if there's lots of people in a room, you know. But there we go. So I went for the first time I've worn Lalique Le Parfum to my work. Absolutely, it's such a beautiful perfume, a beautiful bottle, ridiculously priced. I sometimes see this. I mean, I think I got this for about £25 for 100 ml in this bottle, and such an interesting perfume. It's crazy. But I mean, sometimes I think this like veers to 40, back up to about 40, but sometimes you'll see it for 20. I mean, it's just, anyway, it's worth keeping an eye out for. So beautiful. I just, it's such an interesting green vanilla. And it's not a green vanilla the way that something like Eau Duel is, because there's not a bitterness in this. It's not at all bitter. It's warm, but it's transparent. And it's got this greenness in it that is herbaceous and aromatic, but not bitter. So I just really, really like this. I really liked wearing it. It's so pretty. So Lalique Le Parfum has top notes of West Indian bay and pink pepper and bergamot. The middle notes are heliotrope, almond and jasmine. The base notes are vanilla, tonka bean, sandalwood and patchouli. And it's just so pretty. It didn't bother me at all on my fussy week. It smelled really natural, really pretty. I get that lovely aromatic greenness from the bay, and then the pink pepper, which often really bothers me, actually just gives it this lovely, pretty warmth. And again, ever so slight spicy feel, but not bitter at all. And despite having those two things, I don't find that it goes savoury because there's so much vanilla. I also don't get bothered by the patchouli in this one. I just think it's so pretty. All right, then let's go for another pretty bottle. So this is one that I said that I would declutter, and then I got it out for one of my other videos. And then I was like, oh no, I'm not going to declutter this because actually I do think it's really pretty. And I wore this at the weekend before I came on, and then it was like, really enjoyed it. Sniffing it again now, I'm like, oh yeah, I mean, it's okay. But then at the weekend I loved it. So again, it's going to stay with me. It was super cheap. You can get this for so cheap. You can get so many Lanvin perfumes for cheap. And there are other perfumes that have got really cute bottles, but this I really like. This is Le Fleurs de Lanvin. This is Blue Orchid. Super pretty. Really non-challenging, easy to wear. Perfect for anyone kind of perfume, I'd say. Like any age, anyone who feels like it. It's like a really good one. The notes are top notes of lemon and green apple, which I would say has more of a kind of a slightly synthetic, almost like a boiled sweet kind of apple. It doesn't smell like a natural fresh green apple to me. Then the middle notes are iris and orchid. Really nice. I think iris is stronger than the orchid, despite this being called blue orchid. Then the base notes are musk and tonka bean, and it is musky and it is sweeter than I was expecting it to be from these notes. It's super pretty, and I've said before, it kind of reminds me. At first, when I smelt it, I was like, "Oh, there's definitely some Chanel Chance Tendre kind of profile going on here." And then the more I wore it, the more I was thinking, it's making me think of Guess Seductive Red, which obviously has a slight hint of the Baccarat Rouge profile. So that's the reason why I thought I didn't really need to keep it, because I have the Guess Seductive Red, which I love, and then I also have, what's it called, Sarah Jessica Parker Stash Privé, which I do feel really reminds me of a kind of slightly more, maybe slightly more powdery, creamy version of Chanel Chanson Tendre. Like, it just really reminds me of that. So I didn't think I really needed it, but I really enjoyed wearing this, and yeah, it's super pretty. So I am going to keep hold of that one. Now, apologies for not having this in the bottle. It's because I bought the refill bottle, and then put it in my own little sprayer. Oh, super pretty. Okay, so it's just in this little nondescript little bottle. This is actually, though, let me put it so it's not blinding you. This is L'Ombre de Amandiers by Jeanne en Provence. And it is a lovely, another kind of slightly irisy perfume, actually. This is just a beautiful skin scent. This is kind of a skin scent, maybe a bit stronger than this one. These are all kind of skin scenty. So, I mean, to be fair, I did generally go for quite light perfumes most of this week, in fact. Yeah, there's only like a couple that might be a bit stronger. So, this has notes of orange blossom, bergamot, orange, mandarin orange and lemon in the top. Although, despite all of those citruses, I don't find this one massively citrusy, to be honest. It's just like a brightness to it. Middle notes, almond, milk and praline. This is Fragrantica, so it might be that the real notes are just literally almond milk, like one note. But anyway, praline to sweeten it up. And then the base notes, iris, musk and vanilla. So that iris is in the base, which is why it's got a lovely irisy feel. I definitely get a slight hint of orange blossom in that kind of clean floral way that you get, you know, like it has slightly soapy vibe, but this I don't find massively soapy, but it smells clean. It's mainly a sort of sweet, ethereal almond perfume. Yeah, it's so pretty. It's like so easy to wear. This is one really high on my recommendations if you're not supposed to wear perfumes to work, because it's very, very light. It doesn't really project a huge amount, but if you spray it on your clothes especially, it just makes you smell clean and slightly sweet, and you will love how you smell probably. I really like this in the evening after a bath in warmer weather specifically, or any time of year, first thing in the morning when I get up and I just want to smell clean and fresh and lovely immediately while I'm having my coffee. But I don't normally wear it for the whole day because it is a very light perfume. Obviously stronger in hot weather, so better for kind of wearing out then. But yeah, generally this is like an around the house perfume for me, and then, you know, I'll have my shower and put something stronger on. But it's so pretty and it's so cheap. It's it's like a less, it's not too body lotiony either, and I think that's what I like about it. I think that's the citruses saving it from going too far down that kind of soap and body lotion smell. So if you struggle with that kind of thing, then this is a really good one. But it's also somewhere in the realm also of the Lolita Lempicka I have called Mon Petite, which is another kind of light, sweet almond perfume. Really good for just spritzing on and just having a very light scent. Beautiful, lovely, delicious. All right, what have we got next? Okay. Oh, and empty. I had like 3 of these on the go because this used to be for, I think, maybe almost 2 years. This was my signature perfume when I didn't have so many perfumes. And like I had some for the evening and I had some for special occasions, but this was the one I wore nearly every day. So I finally finished one of these bottles. This is unfortunately one that's basically impossible to get now because this is from Brockard, which is a Russian perfume brand. So this, as you can see, is now empty. I've already got one that's kind of less than half full, which I used to keep at my parents' house, I think, and then I just brought home when I had so many perfumes. I didn't, you know, I might as well just get through these because I used to have, you know, when you wear the same perfume every day, you know you're going to be using those bottles quite regularly. And then I was like, oh, I might as well bring them home and get through them because I'm not going to be wearing them all the time. So I don't need to top up on them because I'm not necessarily going to be wearing that one to work. But anyway, Brocard, this is Tomato Leaf and Blackcurrant is what it's called. And it's from the Sense of Nature collection. It's beautiful. It's funny because I always thought of this one as being quite a like light perfume, but it's actually stronger than I remember it being. I'm not sure if that's just because it's a bit older now and the air's been in it for ages, but it's really musky. It's a very fruity musk, and unfortunately, I couldn't put this one in my fruity musk video that will be coming up in a few weeks because you just can't get it anywhere. You just cannot get it. The closest you're going to get to this is Herbe from L'Occitane. Very similar kind of smell, but this is my favourite kind of interpretation of it. So yeah, it's a bummer that you can't get it. But I mean, if you don't like tomato leaf, you'd hate this because it's very strong in tomato leaf. But excuse me, it's also very strong in a syrupy blackcurrant. Oh, it's herbal and green and fresh, and it's tangy and it's musky. It's also got mint in it. It's got sage. It's like a delicious green herby garden full of blackcurrant bushes and all the herbs that you cook with. You know, it's just so lush. A slight vegetal smell, but not in a bad way. Like in a really beautiful. Well, I guess tomato is actually a fruit, to be fair. So tomato leaf, blackcurrant, thyme, mint, musk, orange and jasmine. That's what's in this. Jasmine is the thing I get the least. I get tomato leaf and blackcurrant at the top, followed by thyme and mint. Well, actually, maybe musk goes before that. Then there's just a tiny hint of orange, and I wouldn't have guessed there was jasmine in this. I can't really smell it here. I just love it. I just love it. So yeah, empty, beautiful bottle of that. Really lovely perfume. I have another bottle that's partially used, and then I've got a whole fresh bottle because it's one that I never want to be without because I love it. But yeah, I'm really sorry to say you cannot get it. So like I said, Herbe from L'Occitane, it's more syrupy because that one has honey in it and it's noticeably got honey in it. But in terms of the scent profile, they're quite similar. So that's why I have Herbe as well, because it's just kind of in my wheelhouse of the kind of perfumes that I used to wear every day. All right, so then again, when I was super fussy, super fussy, reaching for a signature scent, reaching for just something I can wear any time of year, even if I am being really fussy, which is Katy Perry's Indi, a perfect one for me when I'm feeling super fussy. It's just so delicious. I love it. So I talked about it in one of my videos recently, in my white musk ones, and as I said, it feels really cold to me. It feels cool. It feels like coconut cream right out of the fridge. I get a tiny bit of some of the other notes. It does have a woodiness to it, but like in a really creamy way. And it smells like sandalwood to me, despite the fact that it doesn't say there's sandalwood in here. So I don't know, it's weird. But then, you know, someone else also commented and said that she finds it quite warm. It smells woody and warm to her. It's so weird. I guess it must be the musks that really changes how this smells to different people. And I feel like maybe there's one in here called Island Musk, and I don't know if maybe that one just smells a bit coconutty. Maybe that's why it's called Island Musk. But I don't know. It's just, I love this perfume. So plum, white tea and bergamot in the top. Middle notes, white cedar extract, lily of the valley and cyclamen. Base notes, musk, white musk, black musk, Egyptian musk, island musk, tonka bean and amber. So I find this is one that I find impossible to overspray. Like, it's kind of easy to wear. It has a bit of projection, but not a huge amount. I've definitely smelt people wearing this. Like, I've walked past people and been like, oh, they're wearing Indi. They might actually have been wearing the other one, the Van Cleef & Arpels Santal perfume, because I think they smell almost identical when I've smelt them on people anyway. And then people say this doesn't last, but this lasts okay on me. This really isn't too bad. It lasts for literally forever. It will last on clothes until you wash your clothes. So like when I was wearing my lanyard for the rest of the week at work, I could still smell Indi on it, and it only just covered up and actually has some crossovers with Sarah Jessica Parker's Stash, because whenever I wear Stash, if that gets on my lanyard, I can smell that forever until I wear something else that will cover it up. And this one, I could smell this for the rest of the week on my lanyard. So it lasts on me for quite a long time, but I think because there's so much musk in it, maybe people go anosmic to it. I would kind of bet that other people can still smell this on you even when you can't. I really do think that's the thing with a lot of musky perfumes. I think they kind of disappear to some people. But anyway, this is just one of my easy reach all-time favourites. Absolutely lush. Love Indi. And then at the weekend, I wore this one. Super pretty. This is Thank You Next by Ariana Grande. This is the body spray because the perfume has that tar chemical in it, that aroma chemical that's like a fixant, I think. So I can't wear that one. This one is lovely. It doesn't seem to have that same fixant smell in it, but this smells like the dry down of Thank You Next, which I really, really love. I am a bit sad that it doesn't seem to retain the juiciness of that first spray. When you first spray the perfume, the raspberry in it is so lovely. But yeah, I mean, I can't complain though, because at least I can wear the general scent of this again. Because I was sad that I had to get rid of the perfume. It's just that tar note just drove me absolutely up the wall. So this is raspberry and pear in the top, and it's just really juicy in the perfume. And in this one, it's really tampered down. It's like really kind of like as if you've skipped over the first stage of wearing the perfume. You've gone straight into the dry down. And then the middle notes is coconut and pink rose, base notes macaroons and musk. I think this is probably like a coconut and raspberry macaroon with pear, rose and musk. I don't know. But it's just really easy to wear. It's really pretty. It's nice and light, very sweet. But unlike some of the other perfumes, this is sweet in a way that I think isn't too cloying. So I find Ari and Sweet Like Candy like really sickly for some reason. I'm not really sure why. And I found Moonlight kind of the same vein, quite similar to those two. Smelt more like traditional celebrity perfumes. Whereas, to be honest with you, both Thank You Next and God Is a Woman, I've never found anything that smells like them. Like maybe in a slight similar way, but not the actual genuine scent of the perfumes. Because if I had, I would have those perfumes, and then that would be easy because hopefully they wouldn't have that same tar note in. But unfortunately not. So, all right, okay. So I also my husband was out on Friday, so we were both at work, and then he was out on Friday night. So I thought I'm going to wear this perfume that he really doesn't like. Oh God, I love this one. Oh, all right. It's funny again. This doesn't smell as sweet to me as it used to because I now wear sweet perfume. So I can see that to some people who don't like sweet perfumes, there is something quite candied about this one. And then now I'm like, oh, I get more of the kind of florally sharpness going on. But it's super pretty, so it's still very fruity. This is Vera Wang Embrace, Marigold and Gardenia. And unfortunately, again, I think these perfumes have now become very hard to find. I assume that, well, I mean, they're definitely not in production anymore. I don't think they even were back in, like, when I first started YouTube and I was talking about them. But they used to be really easy to find, and now they're really hard to find, I'm afraid to say, unfortunately. But this one, I think of it as my melon and marigold because that's what it smells like to me. It smells like melon, marigold, a little bit of candied sweetness. My husband thinks this smells like cucumber though, which is fair enough because I feel like melon and cucumber are somewhere in the same family, and I find melon to be obviously. It's such a weird one. I think it's the same with people who really don't like the smell of L'Impératrice. From Dolce & Gabbana. Now, I don't like that perfume, but not because of the melon, but I don't like it because it smells so shampooey, which makes it screechy to me. Like, I just don't like perfumes that smell super shampooey. But that one, I think people think it smells like garbage because, like, even in real life, sometimes I think melon has this weird garbagey, like, rubbish bin smell to it, which is strange. And I think the same with cucumber. Like, when I don't like eating cucumber. In fact, I hate cucumber. And, whenever I see, there was like a trend to put strips of cucumber in water. I just used to refer to that as dirty water because that's what it smells and tastes like to me. Like, gross. But anyway, I've trained myself to eat some cucumber, but generally I prefer it pickled. So I love melon though, and my husband is like, gross, this is cucumber. So anyway, I enjoyed wearing it on Friday because I really love this perfume. I love it so much I actually have 2 backups of it. But I mean, I won't let him influence me to stop wearing it, but just out of respect for him because we obviously spend so much time together. I don't want to smell like in a way that he doesn't like, and that's why he doesn't wear one of his favourite colognes a lot of the time is because it has that tar note in, and since I've told him, he's just basically stopped wearing it, because he's very respectful. So yeah, I might actually pass on one of my backups of this, just because I don't think that I'll be wearing it quite as regularly anymore, just so it doesn't bother him. But when we're having time apart, definitely I'll be pulling this one out, because I love this perfume. So this is, in the top, melon and mango, and I think that mango is where that candied kind of sweetness comes from. Then in the middle it's marigold, gardenia and orange blossom, but marigold to me is by far the strongest note. I really like marigold in perfumes. Base notes of cardamom, musk, sandalwood and cedar. Cardamom gives this a slight doll's heady kind of plasticky smell, which is one that I really like, and I find in a lot of cardamom perfumes. I just think it's super cute. It's so pretty. But yeah, it's definitely slightly sharper white floral to me now, like in the background of this, whereas it used to smell very, very sweet to me. So yeah, it's interesting. All right, I also wore this one. Now, I haven't shown you my bottle of this because I haven't worn it since I bought it. It's one of those things I really was craving it. I bought like a decanted pen spray of it. And then for my birthday in January, when I got some money from my mum, and also was like, I'm going to treat myself, and I've got some money from my parents, I should say. But in that classic family style, my mum's in charge of all these things when it comes to birthdays. But from my mum and my dad, and I was looking for someone to buy it for a good price, so I went and looked on, where did I get this from? My Origins, which is where I got my Montguerlain Intense, the little 30ml I bought of that, and I got a little 30ml of Burberry Goddess as well. So it's because I could get them for about £40. I'm not going to spend £60 on a 30ml bottle of Burberry Goddess. No way. So I waited until I could get it for 40. And I got the Montguerlain for about the same, I think. Pretty. Really easy reach. I mean, I understand why people love this so much. It's totally lovable, sweet and pretty. And I genuinely think this is slightly nicer in warmer weather. I mean, I'm sure lots of people are wearing it around the house and just enjoying it because it's slightly cozy. It's got a lovely warmth to it. Also got a super cute bottle, which I'm sure is partially why I wanted it. Because some people really hate this bottle. I think it's really pretty. I really like it. To be fair, my favourite incarnation of this is the 50ml bottle, but I don't need a 50ml bottle of this. The 100ml bottle, because I think this is the same size on all of them. So the 50ml bottle is like the perfect amount of glass to coin ratio, if you see what I mean, in my humble opinion. So yeah, that's the bottle I would have liked just for aesthetics, but in terms of what I need, I don't need that much. So Burberry Goddess is very much to me I mean, spicy isn't quite the right word. It almost to me comes across as woody, because this has, all right, let me read you the notes. So it's, I mean, you probably know anyway. Vanilla, lavender, cacao and ginger in the top. Middle notes vanilla caviar, and base notes vanilla absolute. So it's a vanilla perfume, definitely. But it's not a simple vanilla, because it smells like a kind of slightly aromatic, warm, but slightly woody to me vanilla, because the ginger in this, it definitely warms it up and it gives it a juiciness that makes it smell like there's some kind of fruit. To me, it smells like there's maybe some kind of like orangey or maybe even pear kind of juice in it, and I feel like that must be coming from the ginger. I mean, there might be more notes in this, there probably are, but if you can imagine like a ginger shot, so like really juicy, almost like a little fruit juice, but then deeper, the more it dries down, you get like the outside of the ginger. You've got like the skin, the kind of bitter, woody, dry skin. I get quite a lot of that in this, which is why when I first tried this perfume, I thought it had that tarry note in it, that fixant, but it's not the... I always know if it's that, because that's the thing that remains on my skin when all the other notes have gone. And it takes over everything, whereas that doesn't happen with this one. So I don't think that's what it is. I think it is just the ginger being quite a woody, ever so slightly bitter, burnt kind of thing, but that balances out how sweet the vanilla is, so that's kind of a good thing for me. And then on my skin, I get the cacao later in the dry down. It gets this lovely warm, slightly cocoa scent to it. But yeah, I don't get a massive amount of lavender in this. I definitely do smell lavender, but I smell way more vanilla than lavender. It's definitely got crossovers with Mon Guerlain, particularly the intense version, because that has such a vanillic dry down, and that has like a dark smell coming from the licorice and the patchouli rather than the ginger that's in here. But I don't think they're the same scent at all. I don't think they smell the same, but I do understand that they have a similar feeling to wearing them when this one hits its deep dry down. That's what I think when it smells the most like Mon Guerlain. So if you were, you could easily be like, today I'm in the mood for Mon Guerlain. And then the next day be like, well, I sort of want to wear it again, but something slightly different. This is going to be perfect. So it's super pretty. It's really nice to have in the collection. It's a lovely vanilla. It's one that I think is so safe for so many people. So yeah, and then I only really mention this now when I wear it for a full day, because I wear it a lot because I have the rollerball next to my bed. But I wore it for a full day at the weekend. And my stepson actually, he gave me a cuddle and he said, "You smell really nice." And I was wearing Skin Musk. That's because I feel like Skin Musk is a perfume that I've had a lot of compliments on. My husband really likes it. My stepson said he likes it. Someone in the parcel shop, the guy in the parcel shop, could smell me from across like the counter and told me I smelled nice when I was wearing this. So it is one that people can smell. And it's beautiful, and it just makes you smell amazingly clean and lush. But I talk about it all the time, so I'm not going to say any more than that. This is musk, sandalwood, and floral notes. If you're new here and you haven't seen my videos, this is basically my signature scent. This is the one that I'd keep over everything else. If you want to see any more about it, I've got loads of videos where I talk about it. And I get asked quite a lot in my comments. So I get this, you can't buy it in the UK. I get it from Fragrance X and I get it shipped over here. If you spend a certain amount of money with Fragrance X, you'll get free shipping. You don't have to pay taxes on it. It's all dealt with. They're a big company. They used to be anyway, £10 each. I'm not sure how much they are now because inflation's gone crazy. So it might be more. But they were £10 each. This oil will last you ages. It's really beautiful and delicious, and I absolutely love it. So I went to Lush. I went into Lush. There were two things I needed to smell in Lush. So the first one is, how do I pronounce this? I just want to make sure I pronounce this right. Yeah, it's Alina. I went to smell Alina, the perfume that came out on Mother's Day, although Bunty, I think she's called, told me in the comments that this is actually it arrived at Mother's Day, but apparently it's going to stay. Although, to be honest, it hasn't had a very good reception, so I don't know that it will stay. So Alina, I'm just going to read what it says. You'll be greeted with a sweet and fresh first impression, thanks to Alina's bergamot, pink pepper and clove bud oil, along with warm amber and vanilla. Then comes more floral and sweet, powdery centre with jasmine, orris butter, and an undercurrent of frankincense, patchouli and sandalwood leaves a deep, woody, lasting impact. Yeah. I don't like this one. And I can understand why people really don't like this one. So the deep dry down now, after I got this on Friday night and I'm doing this on Sunday morning. So now it just smells like a Lush shop. It smells typical Lush smell. Like the dry down of Barbie. There's something in it that I find unpleasant because it kind of reminds me of literal bath bombs. There's something kind of sharp and fizzy in my nose going on here. But it has the classic florals and general aroma of a Lush shop now. When I first sprayed it though, very bitter. Very bitter. I just really don't like this one. Yeah, it kind of made me actually feel a bit sad. So I feel rude for saying this. I feel like I miss Simon Constantine. He's obviously gone off. Oh, and I've ordered something because they've just got a new one and I ordered the little 10ml of it. They've got a violet perfume is their current one. Go and have a look if you like violet perfumes because I haven't smelt it yet. I'll tell you exactly what I think as soon as it arrives. But yeah, if you like violet, go and have a look at the notes in that one. It looked interesting to me. So yeah, I don't know, like, because the last few perfumes I've smelt, new releases, I just haven't been mad for. So New Romantics was kind of fun, but it gave me such a massive headache, and it's kind of a little bit one-toned in that it really does smell like a kind of concentrated orange syrup or something, that one. Um, so yeah, I wasn't mad for it. I did actually buy that one and then I returned it because it gave honestly crazy headache. But this one I just really don't like. I don't like the dry down and the. So it says bergamot, pink pepper, and clove bud, but there's something about that pink pepper note that's really very strong, massively overpowering to me in here, and it actually, honestly, what it smells like to me, and for maybe when I first sprayed it, when I was on the way home and I was sniffing it, and then when I got home and I was smelling it, it smells like a raw green pepper to me. That's what it smells like. It smells really vegetal, very bitter, like slightly tingly spicy in a way that I don't like. And that I feel like is the pink pepper mixed with the clove bud. I just, no, I really don't like Alina. I think it's just, yeah. I understand why people have been a bit disappointed with that, because the thing with Lush is it's so exciting when they actually bring out new perfumes. And they just haven't really brought out anything that's particularly interesting or original for a while. Like, yeah, I don't know. I keep going back to the old ones. So like I've got the little pot now of Lust, because that one, like, the old ones are so strong. Like, yeah. And I also got myself a little pot of Karma, and I'm probably going to get myself a little pot of Rose Jam, because as it turns out, I tested that while I was there, and the Rose Jam, like the solid perfume, doesn't have the same kind of quite indolic vibe that I get from the perfume. So yeah, anyway, they've got so many good, interesting perfumes. And obviously, I think one of the last ones they brought out that was new, that was really, really good, is obviously Turmeric Latte. And I just don't feel like I've smelt much really good stuff from them since then that's actually new, rather than just the old scents from the products. Yeah, I hope that they start trying some stuff that's a little bit more interesting. That's all I'm saying. So that's not the only one though, because the other reason I went there is they have the Shrek collection that just came out. Really annoyingly, you can only see it on the app. So I literally had to download the app just to get you the notice to talk to you about this. And I went because in Oxford Circus they've already got this collection there because it's one of their flagships. But it's not on the website yet. They're doing that annoying thing where they're launching it first on the app. And look, you know I love Lush. I love Lush, but their app is rubbish. Their website's not very good, but their app is even more annoying to use. So I don't know. It just gets on my nerves. I'm like, can we just have things in the shops? Please, can we just have things in the shops, like in everyone's shops? Can people just get it? Or online, you know? Ugh. Anyway, they have a Shrek body spray. So, I'll read you. I'll just look. What I do love about Lush, though, is they have the two different things. So you can see what's a body spray, if you can see it here, and you can see what's a perfume. I think they're really cool. So yeah, Alina, not so much. So the Shrek body spray is called By Night One Way, By Day Another. Not the most catchy, but it's got a really cool like picture on the front of it. It's a really nice label on the bottle, I think. So this says a fairy tale blend of lime and mango leaf with notes of juicy melon, crisp green apple. This fragrance is not for your average storybook princess. The beguiling blend hides behind complex notes that speaks to controlling your own... anyway, oh, fine. Right, mango leaf absolute, violet leaf absolute, Persian lime oil, and buku oil, or yeah, buchu oil. So apparently that's got some kind of like green minty facet. So when I first sprayed this, all I could think was it smells like cucumber. I went full Damon and I was like, it's melon, but it smells like cucumber, because there's something very vegetal in this one as well. So you'd kind of expect it from Shrek, right? They live in a swamp, so a lot of this is themed like around swamp stuff. And it does smell a bit like a swamp. It does smell vegetal and weird and cucumbery, and I was not keen. I mean, it definitely has a freshness, but it smells more like a green juice, you know? It smells more like a very healthy green juice that you've made with a ton of vegetables in it, as well as fruit. That's how it smells at first. And then the more it dries down, the more you get the mango leaf and the violet leaf. And then it starts to smell just kind of pretty and clean, lightly floral, lightly fresh. It's actually quite nice. It's not one I feel like I need to have in my collection because I don't think it's... I just don't really like the vegetableiness of the opening. Like I said, I don't like cucumber, so I don't really want a perfume that smells particularly like cucumber. And then the dry down is quite pretty, but is not massively special to me. But I do think this one's quite nice. The dry down anyway, I think it's relatively pretty, but it's not one that I would buy. It's just not one that I need, even though I love the bottle. I think the bottle's really cool. It's just a normal bottle, but it's just got such a cool label. But yeah, this is not one. It's not one that I would particularly want to wear, is what I'm trying to say. So it's okay, but it's not Lush. Oh, it's not as Lush. It is Lush, but it's not as Lush as some of the other Lush things. So yeah, it's... I was trying to be clever there, but they're not quite... Is that tall enough? I'm going to see if I can balance it. Oh, no! Anyway, guys, so that was my week while I'm fanning around with this. See if I can get it to stay. Yay! I also actually went to other stories, but I smelt so many things there that I feel like I probably need to make a little video about that. I'm literally going to switch this off and I'm going to do a little video about... You might have seen I got the green tea coconut breeze. I'll get that up, that little... review as quickly as possible. And yeah, I think that's it. I've got a few samples. I've got all kinds of things coming up, so please do come back on Wednesday. I'll have another video. I think it is it's my floral musks, so also really good for spring. And I tried not to have too many crossovers with my other videos, so we've had the spring florals, which are kind of lovely florals. And then now we're going to have the musky florals are coming up. So both perfect for spring. All right, guys. Tell me what you've been wearing. Tell me if you've got any of these. Tell me if you've smelt these Lush perfumes and what you think of them. And I will see you for another one of these same time next week. Bye, guys.